What's up, everybody? So today I wanted to go ahead and review another Marvel Premiere Collection comic, and this one is Daredevil, Born Again by Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli. And this covers works from the 1964 run of Daredevil. It was, I think, 226 through 233. Yep, issues 226 through 233. Now, normally, I do not like old school comics. Like, I try to read comics from the 90s onward. You know, I like the newer comics. I like the modern age. But after giving this a try, I gotta say, boy, was I wrong about, not digging into some of these old school comics. I mean, some of these things have huge walls of text, but honestly, it was so good. So good. I mean, look right here. Look at all those bubbles. Bubbles after bubbles. It's like a bubble bath. Tons of text. But it was a very good read. The art, even though it was the old school art, took a little bit for me to get used to. Same with the story. Took a little bit for it to grow on me, but I really enjoyed it. So in this one, you have Matt Murdock, who is being targeted by the Kingpin because it starts out with Karen Page, who happens to be a junkie in this story. She's literally, for a fix, selling the secret identity of Daredevil, and she gives up Matt. And it's crazy because they had like this history together. They were dating, they were close, they loved each other, and she just like went down this dark rabbit hole where now in this, like, she's just a junkie. And now Kingpin gets this information, and he is using all of this to ruin Matt Murdock's life. He wants to break him and destroy Daredevil. So, he loses his job, he gets disbarred from practicing law, his house blows up. Kingpin is just relentless, throwing blow after blow against him until he's just worn down. And you see, like, he's like losing his mind. He's thinking that like Foggy's out to get him. He's thinking that, he's got enemies everywhere, and he's just going crazy. The storytelling was actually pretty dark, which I gotta say, for a lot of these like Marvel and DC comics, I definitely don't remember them talking about like junkies and stuff like this, but it was really good. Like, I love the whole mature tone of this. It didn't feel, like you were reading a kid's comic. This was wild. I really liked it. In fact, this may have turned me on to reading more comics from like the old school era. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Honestly, this is like a 9 out of 10. So you see Matt Murdock trying to claw his way back. He's trying to eventually build himself back up. He gets in scuffles. He goes to fight the Kingpin in the beginning. Oh, and that's another thing I'll say. If you've watched past videos of mine, I have some complaints on like fight scenes and how like fights there's like this big build up to them, and then you get to the fight and the fight's done. It's over, and it's just feels like a waste of your time. It's supposed to be an epic fight, and it's not. This was epic. This was awesome. So you got a lot of great fights in this. You get Matt Murdock fighting Kingpin. Then you get Matt Murdock fighting a guy named Nuke. And, Matt's getting in all these other scuffles and like these little brawls. This was well done. It felt like there was build-up. The fights were good. The fight with him and Nuke was probably the best fight for the entire comic. He fought Kingpin early on, and that went on for, a few pages, which I really like. I think they took time, and they let it build up, develop, and then you got that fight, you got that action. It felt like a payoff. It felt like you were being rewarded for reading. So I really enjoyed that. That was very well done. And then when he was fighting Nuke, dude, that went on for a hot minute. I think that was several pages, a lot of great panels. The action was wild. You even see like Captain America and Iron Man pop into this. And Iron Man's appearance was brief, but you see Cap, and he's there for a little bit, and dude, it's wild. eventually, spoilers and all that, Matt like finally gets back like his drive, his intensity. He's cleared his mind, he's healing, he's getting back into the right mindset to be Daredevil again. And it's awesome. He's whooping ass. It's such a great read. I gotta say, thoroughly impressed. This one gets a 9 out of 10 for me. These Marvel Premiere collections have been just hit or miss for me. This one was definitely a hit. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I also have the Fantastic Four book I'm going to be reviewing. That was a hit. I gotta say, I'm still kind of 50-50 about the Premiere collection. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I love the format. I love the pages. I love the size. I hope they continue to support this. I just hope that they turn it around and give you the good stories. And the ones that have the fights with, like, the stories where there's build-up and the fights go on for a little while so you feel like you get payoff. That might just be me. That's personal preference, obviously. But, like, man, oh man, was I impressed with this. If you're picking up the Marvel Premiere Collection line, even if you're someone like me who was a little bit skeptical and biased towards like the old school stories and art and stuff like that, please give this one a shot. This was great. I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it to anybody who wants to read a good Daredevil story. Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli did such an excellent job. And with this one, I felt like I got a full story arc, a beginning, middle, and end. I was satisfied with it. I thought like my time was rewarded, and I wasn't just like reading to be let down. This was great, and I even liked how the story ended. So, fantastic. Love it. 9 out of 10. Check it out. Daredevil, Born Again. Catch you on the next one. Peace.